on mobility. Good morning. So if you signed on because you saw my title, which is, ways to get moving in the morning, this is why you signed on, okay? Not all my rambling. So there's a difference between mobility and flexibility. Excuse me. Mobility has more to do with joints. Flexibility has to do with more muscles. So if certain joints are constricted, you're not going to be able to do the full range of motion, which is going to prevent you from getting, the results that you're looking for, right? So first thing in the morning, I love having a quick stretching routine because the thing is you've been in bed hopefully for 8 hours or so, kind of maybe in the same position or in some funky position. So certain muscles are tight, certain muscles are inactive. So just to kind of mobilize and get the blood flowing is a great way to start your day. So I do have a tool. Hi, Mel. That's totally optional. Now you'll be able to see it from far away. What this actually is, this is actually a broken, you can see the top, broken broom handle. Lots of fitness people use PVC pipe, which is kind of the pipe you use in plumbing to do the stretches that we're going to do. Good morning. But I had a broken broom handle, which works just the same. I wouldn't necessarily use it if the broom was there because it's dirty and it's gross. But what the movements I'm going to do, you can do without this or without a PVC pipe. There's like expensive fitness tools you can buy that do the same thing, but this is really easy. So I'm going to show you some of my movements. I'm going to just put my phone over here. So if you say anything, I'm not going to be able to see you for the next couple minutes, okay? So here's my broom handle. And so like I was saying, when you're in bed, things get tight. We kind of want to stretch what's tight. Tends to be for most people shoulders and hips. Funny thing is, if you sit at a desk all day, those are the things that are going to tend to be pretty tight too, right? So if you can hide a broom handle in your office, even better. But if not, try these few stretches first thing in the morning. So what you want to do is you're going to take your hands, thumbs under, other four fingers on top, arms overhead. And if you're really tight, you might notice you have to move your hands wider and then eventually move your hands closer together to make this more challenging. If you don't have a broom, you could use a towel or a yoga strap. The only thing is you have to really pull it tight to make sure there's tension. So I'm almost going to pretend like I'm pulling this broom handle apart. And all I'm going to do right now is just lower the broom in front and then reach it over my head and see how far back I can go. Even I feel some like snap, crackles, and pops in my shoulder because I haven't been super active the last week because I was sick. I actually did my first workout yesterday, which was only 15 minutes. Well, I went for a 45-minute walk, and then I did a 20-minute workout, only 10 minutes of which was like really hard, and I pooped. I'm really sore. So notice I moved my hands a little wider. Hi if you're just joining. So I'm showing you a few stretches using a broom handle here. You could use a PVC pipe that you could get at a hardware store, or you can even use a yoga strap. So notice I'm trying to take the broom handle all the way behind me. Now what you want to watch for is that as the broom comes over your head, you're not thrusting your ribs out or sticking your butt. You want to keep your tailbone tucked and your abs pulled in tight. So this is really going to help stretch out the whole upper body. You do this like 10 to 15 times, and again, eventually you move the hands closer together. There should not be pain. If you notice your shoulders are popping, you definitely want to go slower and breathe as you do this. Next, what you're going to do is keep the broom over your head, and I'm going to show you from behind. You're going to bend your elbows almost like you're doing a lat pull down and kind of scrape the bar up and down the back. So you're going to try to keep it as close to the back of your body as possible. Now, again, you're going to feel a stretch in the chest. This is going to help you bring mobility into your wrist too. So anybody who kind of works at a desk or has tight wrists, that's going to be a way to open those up. So again, I apologize, but I can't see your comments because I'm too far away, but hopefully you guys are finding this helpful. Now notice I can do this certainly without the broom, right? You're just going to go forward and back. And then you can keep your arms over your head and bend your elbows like you're doing a lat pull down. The broom just makes it more intense. It's not necessary, okay? So we'll go all the way forward and back, we'll go all the way up and down, and then with the arms up, you go side to side. So this can help stretch the lats, okay? So just side to side like this. So this is really helping build mobility in the shoulder joint. The two sets of joints you want to be really mobile, or the most mobile I should say, are your shoulders and hips. You want things like your lower back and your neck to be pretty stable, right? So a couple stretches you can do there for the shoulders, and then integrating the hips into it. So this stretch, this is why I call today's Periscope Good Morning, because this stretch or this movement is called a good morning. So what you would do is a couple options. You can take the bar across your back. Some people like to take the bar across the chest. You can even actually take the bar up and down the spine like this, and I would do a set with one hand on top and the other hand on bottom, and then switch. And this is actually a great test for shoulder mobility. What you want is your top hand to be internally rotated right at the back of your neck, and your bottom hand, or externally rotated, and your bottom hand to be internally rotated at your lower back. And if you can't do that, that's a pretty good test or a pretty good proof that you don't really have that much mobility. So what I'm going to do is this version and keep the bar against my head and my butt and my upper back. And all you're going to do is stick your hips back and then forward. So pushing those hips back with a slight bend in the knees. Now, if you guys know what a deadlift is, it's basically a deadlift. The difference between a deadlift and a squat is when you sit down. A deadlift is when your hips go back and then push forward. Some people are afraid of this motion, especially if they have lower back issues, but it's actually perfectly safe for your back. And it's actually helpful because a lot of times we have lower back issues because things like our hips are not mobile enough, so our back does the brunt of the effort. So good morning. You can take the bar across your upper back. You're going to sit your hips back and then push your hips forward. You really want to squeeze your butt. So again, any of these variations with the bar or hands across your shoulders or behind your head, it's all about folding forward and then really pushing the hips forward and squeezing the butt. So the next movement, which will integrate both the shoulders and the hips, requires either a pole or a broomstick or a PVC pipe, or you can actually use a countertop. So it's a similar movement to the good morning, but we're integrating the shoulders. You're going to push the hips back as you stretch your arms forward and then come back to start. So notice my hips are going back and my shoulders are going into actually what's called flexion. And I apologize, I can't see your comments. If you didn't have the bar, you just put your hands on the countertop, stick your hips back, and then push your hips forward. Any of you guys that are perverts that are on this, you can just kind of tune in right now. I know some of these movements are a little bit suggestive, but they certainly work in the confines of your own home or in the gym, and they're really important movements because we want to make sure our body's moving as efficiently as possible. So if all you have is 5 minutes in the morning, grab your pole or not, you're going to take your arms all the way forward and all the way back, making sure as you breathe as you do this. And when I do this, I kind of like to run through my daily to-do list and see what I have to get done today. So already I know as soon as I tune out here what's coming up next. And then I'm going to scrape the upper back all the way up, all the way down. And this really just, this is like moving meditation, right? So there's nothing else I can do while I'm doing this. So I'm getting myself moving. And then I'm going to take the bar across my back. I'm going to do a few good morning stretches, get the blood flowing, get the hips moving. And then finally I'll put it all together and I'm going to take that bar down, one hand on top of the other if you're using a bar. And then you could do a few reps with one hand on top and then switch to the other side. Give these a try today. Even do them at work if you can't do them at home. Again, you can use a countertop for that good morning stretch. If you're just tuning in, this is my Take 5 challenge. Today, this will go up on Periscope. There goes my bar. This will go up on Periscope, on YouTube rather today. And all my previous Periscopes for the Take 5 challenge, thank you guys, are my YouTube playlist. Where'd my little sheet go? If you're interested in finding out that playlist, go to the top. It's lizbarnett.com, and there's a contact page. You can sign up for my newsletter. I'll send all that information out in my newsletter today. Guys, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'll be tuning in 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, back again Friday morning at 8, so hopefully I'll see you again. And if you had any questions that I didn't see and I do apologize, feel free to email me.